Good morning, children. Today we are going to study relationship between current and potential difference. In the last classes we have studied about current in detail and also potential difference. No, today we are going to see the relationship between current and potential difference. See, in the board you have understood that Ohm's law. Why Ohm's law? Who is this Ohm? He is a German physicist. Okay. German physicist in the year 1827, he found the relationship between current and potential difference. And he gave a law stating that potential difference across the ends of a given metallic wire. If you are taking a metallic wire, the potential difference between the ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. Okay, provided its temperature should be same. So if the temperature is same, he said that they are directly proportional. Who? Current and potential difference. Okay, so we are going to study in detail. If someone tells like that, we will not be able to take it. No, experimentally we should verify and check whether it is correct or not. Shall we? Okay, come. Experimental verification of Ohm's law. So our aim is to verify, to check whether what Ohm said is correct or not. So verify Ohm's law. The apparatus required, you see, nichrome wire. One wire we are taking. Nichrome wire, what is there? It is an alloy. It is made up of nickel, chromium, manganese and iron. Okay, nickel, chromium, manganese and iron. And we also need one ammeter to measure current, one voltmeter to measure potential difference, and 4 batteries. Each one is 1.5 volt, and one rheostat, one key, and connecting wire. Okay, these are the components needed. Now the procedure. We should set the circuit like this. See, we should set up the circuit like this. See how it is set, you see. First we should take one wire, I said, no? Nichrome wire, AB. This is half meters I have taken. Here if you see, in this point to this point, between these 2 points only I am going to find the potential difference. And I told you that voltmeter will be always connected in parallel and ammeter will be always connected in series. See here, this is series. We can't connect voltmeter here. It should be connected only in parallel where we are going to study about the potential difference. So we are going to study the potential difference for this wire. So I have connected it here. So AB, it is connected here. In this series, if you see one battery, we will start with one battery first. Okay. So one battery, this is plus, this is minus, and then it is connected to this wire. Then one ammeter. Then this is what? Rheostat and key. See the connection how I have given, see. This positive sign of the battery is connected to the positive end of the rheostat. And then this negative end, if you see, it is connected to the ammeter. And from here, this voltmeter's positive end is connected to the negative side of the ammeter. These connections also is very important. Okay, these connections, you can't just give opposite to this. Connections are very important, so you should go through. Now you should set up the circuit like this. Then you should insert the plug key. Usually we will not keep it connected. Whenever we want to do this experiment, no, we will switch on or we will allow current to pass through. At that time only we will plug the key. So insert the plug key. Current will start flowing. First with one cell we are going to check. We will find out the reading of ammeter as well as voltmeter. And then we will put two cells. Then 3 cells, then 4 cells, like that one by one we are adding. When we are doing like that, no, we will come to know how the values vary. Okay. So now we have taken all the things. Whatever I said, no, I have written here as points. Then we should record the observation. See the tabular column in which I am going to check how it is. Serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cells I have added, no. So first one cell, second cell, third cell, fourth cell. Current. 1 amps, 2 amps, 3 amps, 4 amps. 1 amps when I am taking. In the voltmeter, when I checked the reading, it was 3, 6, 9, 12. So after writing all these things, we should find what is V by I. Okay, V by I is 3 by 1, 3, 6 by 2, 3. All are the constant. Okay. So from this we have come to know that V by I is calculated for all the readings and it is found that it is constant for all the observations. And for using this we can plot a graph also. See, I have taken in x-axis current and in y-axis potential difference. Same thing I have written, and then if you see, when you verify Ohm's law, no, we will get a straight line. Okay, graph you know how to plot, no? Okay, we will get a straight line. So it is clear that P and I are having some relationship. What is the relationship? V is directly proportional to I. If V increases, I also increases. Okay, V, it is directly proportional. So here see the values, it is directly proportional to I. Sometimes they will ask you to find the slope also. In that case, the formula is slope is equal to delta V by delta I is equal to, see, any two values we can take, and this value if you am taking I am taking this value 12 and 6. This is taken as V1 and this is taken as V2. So V2 minus V1, and the same way I1, I2. Okay. If you take two values, then you will sub minus and you will get it. The value is 3 ohms. So what is 3 ohms? Why to put ohm? You should honor that person, no? Okay, so ohms. But we should find out what is ohm. V is directly proportional to I. V by I is equal to constant, we know. What is that constant? V by I is equal to constant means in the place of constant we can put R. What is R? R is resistance. Okay. R is resistance. V by I is equal to R means it can also be written as V is equal to IR. So what is R? What is resistance? In English we have studied, no, you should resist that. You should not allow that to happen. You should resist that. Means what? You should resist that means you should what? Okay, same way here one wire will not allow current to pass through. See here. Resistance means the property of a conductor to stop, to resist the flow of charges through it. Okay, the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charges through it is called as resistance. SI unit of resistance is ohm, to honor that person. So when you are writing, what is the definition for 1 ohm means? If the potential difference across the ends of a conductor is 1 volt and the current is 1 ampere, then resistance is 1 ohm. So 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt by 1 ampere. We know how to write this, no? I is equal to V by R. So I is equal to, SI unit of I is ohm, SI unit of V is volt, SI unit of R is ohm. Correct? So I is equal to V by R also we can return, or R is equal to V by I also we can return. This is I is equal to V by R, or if you are writing like this, no, this is how we can write. This is R is equal to V by I. Same way you can return. It can be written. So variable resistance. This is resistance. Resistance means the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charge is called as resistance. Variable resistance means a component which is used to regulate current without changing the voltage source. So voltage source will not be changed. Only current will be altered, regulated. See, for example, rheostat. Rheostat will do this work, and this is an example of variable resistance is rheostat. With the help of an activity, we are going to find that current is different for different components. We know that at home current is different for different components. No, bulb will take how much current, fan will take how much, TV will take how much. It is different for different components. With the help of an activity, here we can't do all those things. Here we are taking 3 things. Nichrome wire, one 10 volt bulb and one torch bulb. Okay. See, this is a circuit I have taken like this. In this gap, one by one we are going to check. We will connect nichrome wire here and we will check the value in the ammeter. We will remove it. Then we will connect 10 watts bulb and then ammeter reading. Remove it. Then torch bulb. Then checking, removing. After doing all these things, we came to know that current is different for different components. See, always it will not allow current to pass through. No, some components, some will allow current to pass through, flow through. Some will not allow current to flow through. We have studied about good conductors as well as bad conductors. Correct? What do you mean by good conductors? Good conductors means a component of a given size that offers a low resistance is called a good conductor. Opposite of that, if it is low resistance, then it is good conductor. If it is high resistance, if it is not allowing anything to go through, then it is called a poor conductor. It means if it is conducting, then it is a good conductor. If it is not conducting, then it is a poor conductor. Okay. So what is a resistor here? A conductor, a component having some appreciable resistance. If it is having resistance, then it is called as resistor. So these are the things we have studied. Now we will study about the factors. Okay, some factors are there. We will study about that. Here today 5 points we have studied: Ohm's law, experimental verification of Ohm's law. We have also studied about slope. Then what is resistance? What is variable resistance? Okay, bye.